Right here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. How you doing? How you doing?
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. How you doing? How you doing?
To go on top. So that's what we did there. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the show. What is happening? A golden Kappa train is close. What is that even? Is that even a thing? Karen Day, what is happening? The resub for Karen. Thank you very much, Karen. Dana, with a resub as well. 35 months, Dana, nearly 3 years. Happy birthday to you. What is going on? What's golden Kappa hype? Does that mean I've joined some kind of a perverted fraternity? 300 bits from Karen. She really wants this thing to happen. I don't know what she's going to have to do that. See, please, what's happening, dude? In the house. What is going on, guys and girls? What is happening? I'm just putting my gear on because I've got no pants on. So I'm just pulling my pants up, as one does in these situations. There we go. My goodness, we've got whatever that is. A golden Kappa train. Look at all this stuff. What does that mean? It's a golden Kappa. Kappa's the guy. Luke's back. Luke with a big sub. Thank you very much for that gifted sub, Luke. Sub and giving some love back. Look at you guys go. Terry with 500 more and Karen with 300 more. Guys, we've got our little drills all sorted out. We've made our little soldier stand. I've put some other holes in here for these little guys here. Let's have a look at that, shall we? Like that. Put these at the front. Our Forstner bits now have a little home as well, which is good. Keep them all together. There we go. What do you think of that? Terry, are you impressed? Do you like that? I have staggered them, so these are a little bit lower than these ones. Oh my goodness, Karen Day, 5 gifted subs. Jeepers creepers. You guys are going nuts. Karen Day, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I love that support coming from you. That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. If you do get a sub, make sure you thank those people. So this is the little guy that we did yesterday. Going to give that another coat of oil right now before we get our guitars out and start working for those. I wanted to just do some work on this guy. Let's get all these tools out first, put them aside, and we'll deal with them later. But I want to oil this Queensland maple and start getting some sheen on there now that that's dried off and sealed up. These are quite tight fit, but it's good though. They're not going to fall out, are they? That one's a little bit tight. If I just work it, it does get looser. Oh, golden kappa. I don't even know what that is. Is that a thing, Karen? Is golden kappa a thing? Is it a magical thing? Do magical things happen? Will I grow a third leg? Will I grow a fourth arm? What is going to happen? Is it all magical? Do I grow wings and fly? It's the golden kappa. Oh my God. Nice holder you got there. You know me and my holders. I like to hold on for dear life sometimes. And give that a light little sand. Going to pull out some oils. We're going to give that a little bit of wetness. Put all these guys in a little bag of tricks here. Deal with those later. Let's give that a little bit of oils. Some oils. Stats back to 0. Tom's in the house too. Hardened steel. Isn't it a beautiful sound? It's one of my favorite sounds. Wow. Dana with a 500 bits. That's got it hyping along. And Terry with a gifted sub. My goodness, 3 gifted subs. Doing well. Let's get some oil on there and have a look at that colour. I do like Queensland maple. It's pretty. As Terry would say, it's purdy. Let me put that on. This won't hurt me a bit, said the doctor. Okay. Why is that clamp there, Terry? Can you tell me why? This turns gold and you get it for 24 hours across the platform if you contribute to the train. This turns gold. That fat head turns gold. The picture of the guy from, what's his name again, that actor? Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman turns gold, and that's it. The clamp is there for me. No spilling. Not this time, man. Not this time. I'm going to be very careful this time. Very careful this time. Still drinking up a lot of that stuff, Mario, as you can see. There we go. It's a lovely car. I love Queensland maple. It looks so good with all those beautiful bands. It's got a really nice ribbon grain. Like mahogany, very similar to mahogany in many ways. Probably not as hard, a little bit on the softer side, but it is beautiful though. Just hitting those edges a little bit too. It's a Mario. Dana with another gifted sub. You are awesome. Look at her go. 500 bits and then a gifted sub. Because that's how she rolls. She wants that golden kappa. She wants golden Bill Pullman. Speaking of golden, that looks really good. I love the golden colour of that. It's really nice. Terry, do you like Queensland maple? Tell me. Karen Day, would you like Queensland maple? It probably doesn't burn that well, but for Karen's sake, but it probably is a good thing. It's a pretty thing, isn't it? I like the look of it. Anyway, let's leave that. Let's get this off. Let's get some guitars up here and do some stuff with them, shall we? Stuff. Now, you can see this is a little bit shinier today, is it not? Because what have I been doing? I've been buffing it with some cutting compound. I got some cutting compound as per Rage's instruction with a finer grit, and it took that milkiness away, and now we've got a really nice clear reflection, right? Got a really good clear reflection. It's pretty clear now. It's getting really, really clear. So that's the kind of finish that I'm happy with. Okay, I'm happy with that. 78% about to beat your last record. Wow, pretty. The person behind that is Josh DeCino, an employee from Justin TV. This was the name of the platform before Twitch brought it out. Yes, I know, Karen. And you know what's funny? He looks like Bill Pullman. You can't tell me he doesn't look like Bill Pullman. He looks exactly like Bill Pullman. Maybe. Ha! Yeah, Queensland maple and American maple, two different beasts. Only the same in name to a degree. They're part of a maple. I'm not sure. This is, it's known under a couple of names. Queensland maple's one of them, but I think they're very different in actual physical. But you know what? We can try it. I don't have a burner like you, but I do have a soldering iron, so we can try it. The other cool tool I got yesterday, did I show you guys that? I think I did show you, didn't I, Terry? I showed you this. Karen would like this. Karen, have a look at this. Karen, have a look at this. You're going to love this. Are you ready? This is what they call a pistol grip for a Dremel. I'll just open that up and show you this. I'm sorry that I'm mucking around. I'm like a kid with all these new toys. So I've got to do it. So this is a pistol grip for a Dremel. What it does, when you don't have a little pen engraver, you can use your Dremel. Okay? You stick your Dremel in there and you hold it like that. Hang on. Like that. Okay, so it's a pistol grip. And you can actually use it to do fine engraving, and it just gives you a little bit more stability with handling it. Anyway, I thought I'd buy one of those because I had nothing better to do. That was a bit of an anticlimax. Anyway, that's the color or the shine that we need. Golden Kappa train, yeah. Dana with another 500, thank you very much, Dana. Golden Kappa train completed level 4. What does that mean? Who won it? Did we all get it? You received Golden Kappa for 24 hours on level height. Only visible to me. Who? I do? I use that? I get that? Wow. Guitar time. Stats back to 0. He's bored. Stats, I get it. Let me get the guitar. Doofus. So this guy here, okay, there's the finish there. We need to level that out. That needs a light sand now with 1200 wet and dry. There's the front. That's been done. That's leveled. That's nice and level. That just needs a buff and get some of that milkiness out. It's pretty good though. It's pretty clear, but you can see that panel is a little bit clearer. It's not too bad, the front of that, but it's coming along nicely. Do you like that stats? Are you happy with that stats? Is that a good looking guitar or what? It's not too bad, right? The back's got to be flattened out. It's a little bit ripply still, so we still got a lot of work to do on that one. Let me get some water on there. Let me spray that and let me sand that back and get another coat on there. Let's level that guy out a little bit, right? Let's do that. Real nice. Excellent. I'm glad you like it. I like it too. I think it's a nice piece of maple. That Telio over here is starting to look really good too. We're going to look at that a little bit closer as well. Give that another sand and another look at. I'll show you the Fox in a little bit. Let's grab some water and our 1200. Actually, I'm going to use 600. I'm going to use 600. I'm going to bite a little bit further into it. I need to get some really major ripples flattened out. So, and they're only ripply because of the ribbon grain. Some of it's lower than other areas, so I just want to make sure I get that level. Okay, do we need a mask? No, because it's wet and dry and we're not really kicking up anything. Terry, we don't need a mask. So stop stressing. A little bit of soapy water. It's not really soapy, it's got a little lubricant in it. But helps it to slide a little bit. I just put a little bit of aloe vera in there, natural. Wow, look at that emote. Holy smokes, Karen Day. That is awesome. You do that because I'm the cool kid streamer. Thanks very much. I've got a very flat, sexy front end. I want the back end to be just as sexy, right? That's what we're talking about. Who's got jaundice? What are we talking about? Mario, what do you want about? Let me grab some fresh cloth. That's really nice and flat now. It's a little bit, yeah, needs a bit more here. Let's hit that area there. Oh, that guy's got jaundice. Has he? Oh, because he's yellow. Okay, I get it now. Liver function, 0. He has jaundice. That flattened it out somewhat. As you can see there, it's still not that flat here. See those shiny bits? They're lower. They're lower sections. That's why it's shiny there and it's flat in the middle. It's got to be even. That grain is quite, so I need a couple of coats at least on this guy. So I'm going to give it a coat now, and then we're going to start working on the telly, wiring for the telly. And we'll get that telly up. He will do the body first, then we'll start wiring that guy up. So we did do the harness for this guy. We started the harness. We've got it all sorted out. All we need now is the pickups to arrive in a week or so, and then we'll be able to put it in. Hey, B Bumstead, Marky Mark, what's going on? He does look like Bill Pullman. Of course he looks like Bill Pullman. He looks like a sick Bill Pullman, a younger Bill Pullman. Okay, let's dry that off properly. I'm going to put another coat on there. I just drizzle this straight on these days. I'm just going to get a nice light cloth. It's not purely tack-free, but it's the next best thing to it. Remembering we've still got sanding to do, so... Okay, I'm going to pour a little bit of this guy in here. There's my little container. Here's that little guy. Okay. And when I get to these last coats, I did start nice and thin. I just drizzle a little bit on there. And I spread that evenly. That's enough for the whole body. Make sure there's no drip down the side there. Just wipe that in. Check the streakiness. It's a bit dry there. We get good cross coverage. That'll settle and flatten out. Okay. Put that little guy just in here. Little drizzle. Where's that? Still got some left in there. Just put a little bit in there. So the key here is to go nice and thin, not too heavy a layer, nice and thin. Just wipe that down, let that guy settle. Just check for any runs. No, that looks good. Okay, we're sort of okay there. Let's see how that goes. Might pop a little bit, just a tiny little drip there. Little dry spot just in here. And that will settle. That looks flatter already, but it's starting to get flatter, but we need to work that so that we can get it as good as the front. Let's pop that in there. Put this guy away. Jamie, what's going on? What's happening, brother Jamie? In the house, welcome on in. Okay, so, getting flatter. Just like me, it's getting flatter. Okay. We're starting to flatten that guy out. You can see there's a couple of little ripples. We'll check that later on when that settles right down. It is starting to flatten out a little bit. We'll check that later. The front's looking reasonably good. Needs a buff. We're going to give that a buff in a few days when that's cured properly. I just want to give it a week between the last coat. The last coat was about 3 or 4 days ago. I'll give it another 3 or 4 days and then we can buff that. This is settling really nicely. It's looking really flat. You can see the lights are starting to really flatten out. So we're good. I'm happy with that so far. Now, let's have a look at this guy. Let's get our telly down here. Let's get some 600 on this guy and give this another coat. We're evening out a couple of dry patches here. There's the Fox. You can see there's a couple of little dry spots there and there. Just little, and it's book matched. There must have been a little bit of some kind of a, I don't know, not a fungus, but some kind of a problem in that area because it's the dry spot is book matched on both sides. So I'm figuring there's a bit of sap, wood, or something not quite right there. Let's give that a little sand with a 600. We'll go a little wet there just to level some of that out without going too abrasive. It's 600, so it's not going to hurt anything. A little bit of water on there. And we'll show you guys what the Fox looks like once we apply some more oil on it. So let me just get that guy all wet up. Just a little bit of water, not too much. Danish oil for this guy. Give it a wipe. Very rough in there. There's something not quite right there. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. But we'll fill it in. I'm worried that I'll have to put more oil on there than I want to and turn this into a glossy top, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But yeah, anyway. Let's dane that up, as they say. Another glove. That's the one, Terry. Thank you for the Fox. Have we got that right? Telly style with poplar body, camphor laurel cap, coachwood neck with a Burdekin plum fretboard. The pickups will be a P90 neck and a vintage humbucker bridge made by Orbiter Guitars. That's exactly right. Either way looks great. Thank you, Fractal. It is very fractal, if I do say so myself. Now, let's grab some of this Danish and watch this colour pop like a weasel. Pop goes the weasel, as they say. We'll get that neck down and give that a coat in a minute as well. We've got the neck to sort out, and then we'll do some wiring for this guy. Start planning the wiring. Tez McTez, are we ready? Of course you are. Iggy363, thank you for the follow. I wonder if that's the person that I think it is. I don't think it is, though. What's going on, guys and girls? Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for dropping in. Gee, that's glassy smooth, and it's going on really well. That colour, isn't that amazing? The Fox. What do you think of that, guys? Nice? Pretty? Pretty. Terry, what would you say? Pretty? Is that the word that I would use, Terry? Pretty? Pretty. It's nice. The fox. Pretty, that's the word you would use, yes. Okay, we'll hang that up. I think shouldn't have thrown that away. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've got more rags. We're going to do the neck now. Let's put this guy up here. Smooth but complex. That's the one. Look at the description that Fractal uses the best descriptions because of that. Once he gets going, and once he starts dendritically spreading through the universe, there's no letting up of what he might say and how he might describe something. All right. Neck. Coachwood. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful coachwood neck. Very bronzy, sort of mocha colour. It's a nice contrast with the neck. Coachwood neck and a burdekin plum fretboard. A little bit reddy, a little bit golden, bronzy coloured. Let's give that an oil. That'll make that pop. That is as smooth as glassy glass, as they say. Glassy glass. Glassy ass. Grassy ass. Amigos. Give that a light rub. Just get any rising fibres from the previous oiling that we did off there. Very lightly. Just get any fibres. That feels really smooth. Get that bench cam on. I'm going to oil this guy up. I could put the serial number on the heel right now. I won't do it yet. I'll give it one more coat before I do that. That can go in the bink, as they say. Where's that other disc? Before I finish with that. Let me just quickly do the face of that as well. Not smooth enough to ride on yet. We need another couple of coats on there. Let's go. Let's roll. What is a double cut telly? A double cut telly, Terry, a single cut is one with a single cutaway, one horn. A double cut has the exact mirror of that on this side. You've got another cutaway in there, and you've got another horn there, same as this one. That's a double cut. Okay. Single cuts are traditional tellies. You can get double cuts. Okay. Got it. Good. Yeah. I still want it to look like a telly fractal, and I don't want to take away too much of that grain. It's too pretty a top to cut away pieces. That's the main reason, I think. Yeah, they're around. Tom, have a look at the Google it, man. They're interesting. Looks a little bit like a baby 335, you know, with those two horns. I resonate with it. Of course you do. Resonance, probably at 528 or 432? The healing resonance. That's the one that you like, the healing resonance fractals. Huh. Okay, let's get some oil on this guy as well. You can see that color, that grain really pops once you get that oil on there. Just a thin coat on there. Okay. over. That is so cool, so smooth. It's a nice neck. JMO was using Uma again, Terry, yesterday. I think he likes her. She's sounding amazing. He's got her dialed in beautifully. For those of you that don't know who Uma is, that is the Purple Heart hollow body Les Paul that I prototyped for someone, and I gave it to JMO from Glowstick Willie, and he's playing her, and he's really check them out if you can. They do stream. I'm not sure if they're streaming at the moment. If you want to hear what she sounds like with those beautiful, what have they got? I think Uma has got. Yeah, thank you, Terry. She does. Yes, she's really good. Uma. Wait, what? There's no Uma. Uma has got bare knuckle 59s. What are they called? Bare knuckle. There's a name for them. Not destroyers, not that violent, but there's something cool about bare knuckle. Something's anyway. They're beautiful. I've forgotten what they were. I'll find the box. It's here somewhere. Bare knuckle. But they are a British pickup company, and they do good work. A couple of scratches I can see here, Terry. I've got to do a bit more sanding right on the tip of that heel. Right here, there's a couple of little guys. Just here, there's a couple of little tooth marks I can still see. Just come up now. Couldn't see it in the light yesterday. Now that the colour's changing, I can pick those up. But that's a nice neck. We don't want too much more oil because we want it to satin out. We don't want it to be glossy. We want it to be satin. I'd rather a satin neck and a gloss body, to be honest with you. I prefer satin in oil. I don't like glossy oil. Slabwood. Butt kickers, nut busters, annihilators, something like that. Sounds like your video library, Tom. Ha! Okay, let's hang this guy up and let's see what we're going to do with this baby girl. Okay, what we're going to do here is a single and a humbucker. We're going to use 500k pots, a 3-way switch, vacuum. What am I vacuuming? The floor? It's a bit dirty. Buddy's barking. There must be a delivery. I'm expecting my chlorine dioxide to arrive so I can drink it. Okay. Let's clean this up. Terry, you're right. Terry, we'll be right back. The cleaning lady comes. Oh, okay. That's what that means. Very good. Mav, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Welcome on in, man. Let's get our little board out, our wiring station, as I call it. What did I do with that bugger? Here it is. And as you can see, this wiring station's got the humbucker set up for the Les Paul. So we've got a volume and a tone as opposed to 2 volumes, 2 tones in a traditional Les Paul 4-way. We've got a 3-way switch. So we got bridge, neck, or both blended. 1 tone though, so I think 2 and 2 is overkill anyway. And there's our output jack. So we're going to take these out. We're going to pop these in the box for the Les Paul, which is right here. I'm going to grab some components and start working on the P90 at the neck and the humbucker at the bridge. Okay, so we need 500 ohm or kilo ohm resistors for the potentiometer. Let's get those going. 500, what have we got here? We've got, oops, I've just dropped it. We've got a 100k and another 500k. Perfect. Pop that away. Put these little guys in here. Let's grab our iron. Let's plug that guy in and get him heated up. We've got our solder here. And while that iron's heating up, let's get our other components together. We're going to need vintage wire, which is what I use. Cloth covered, black for ground, white for active or live. So we're going to need a ground across these two, something around that length. We're going to strip these ends. Whew. I can't believe Terry's in the office and the vacuum lady is attacking her. Give me a sec, guys and girls. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. Catch up with the chat. Is Terry back yet? No. NetNode, thank you very much for the gifted sub, the Fractal Lies. And NetNode, welcome on in. NetNode's been around for donkey's years, as they say. Right, we need to get this guy grounded across there. So we need a couple of spots on there. Hopefully this iron is nice and hot now. Are you hot, iron? Let's find out. I always check the tip on the tip of my tongue to see if it's hot. Like that. If you hear it sound, it means it's hot. I do not check it on the tip of my tongue. Who said that? Okay, it's good to go. Pop a nice little dollop in the middle there. Sometimes it don't stick, so I just scratch that a little bit just to get it to bite a little bit more. It's a little bit of a coating on some of these metal covers. Just scratch through them. The solder will stick nicely to it. That's better. You can see that nice big droplet right there. That's what we want. Be quite liberal with it. Don't stinge on the solder. There's, more is good as long as it's neat and not too patchy and it's not dry. Let that hang there. Right, let's get this guy sorted out. We'll get these two grounded there. Now that I've primed that, all I need to do is soften that up, get this guy in there, and we're done. so. Done. Okay, what do we got? Ground, ground, ground. Single, single and a double. Where is that pickup? Okay, here we go. Alrighty, I need a switch and I need a capacitor. P90 capacitor, what size there? 470. I cannot read that, what is going on. I cannot read that at all. I think it's a 22. It's a 22, Terry. It's a 22, Terry. Nanofarad. That's the word for it. I also need a switch, so let's get that out. Let's get that box of stuff going. Here we go, here we go. That's the little guy. And that's got to go from, on the tone switch or tone pipe, it's got to go from the middle pin to the ground. So we got to get one end down in here. And one end to ground, like so. Okay. Let's do that. Okay, that's grounded. What? Let's nip that excess wire. Oops, it's come off. Still a little bit soft. Let's get that down. Get that guy done. And that's done. Trim that off. No long pieces to short out anywhere, must be trimmed as close as we can. Okay, caps on there. Now, okay, let's get the wires going. We need capacitors there. We need a junction between this one and this first one here. So 1 to 3. And it's got to be alive. So we're going to go white. Terry, one day we're going to do this and you're going to take notes and then you're going to have a command with all the 28 steps of each wiring point. I can see you doing that somehow. I can actually see you working on that. Don't ask me why. I just have a feeling that you would. Am I right? Big shout out for Blackstone. How you doing, Mr. Blackstone? Good to see you, my man. Great to have you here. We're wiring again. Yeah, change the use of the potentiometer. On the tone, it tends to bleed out the high frequency, so you get anything from a no tone muffled sort of sound to a high brighter sound. It adjusts just the brightness of the tone. Yep. It adjusts the brightness of the tone. You can also put a little bleed circuit here. I don't have any problems with these, although I will put it in once Mr. Glynns sends me the pickups. The bleed circuit here has a capacitor and a resistor, and what it does is it enables you to, as you back off the volume, it doesn't lose any tone because the volume goes down. It's consistent in its tone. As the volume softens, you can still hear the clarity of the pickup, especially in the neck. And as you raise the volume, it doesn't get sharper or brighter. It maintains the tone. That's a little bleed circuit, so you don't lose volume or you don't lose tonality with the loss of volume. But the tone is the one where you can go from dark to bright, bass to treble if you like, in the old language. And that enables us to, and that capacitor just tailors that so it's not too drastic. Without a capacitor, you go from 0 to 10 and it's very drastic. This just allows a variation to be tailored and trimmed down. It cuts a lot of the frequency, so it's a smoother blend. Had to delete today's videos. You couldn't see. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, they filter stuff. They filter stuff. They also store voltage. They also like little batteries. They're little static charge storers. So sometimes in power circuits, capacitors are used to provide a big jolt to get stuff going. Is that right, Rage? Am I right? Did I learn something in guitar school? You're better than electronics than I am, my friend. Let me tell you that just quietly. I wanted to do electronics when I was at college, and I took a night course because I wanted to get better with digital repairs because I was doing digital repairs in a computer company repair shop for a major American company here in Australia. So we had a distribution here in Australia, and I was in the repair center. And it was the National Repair Center. So I thought, you know what? I know how to fix these things because I was familiar with the hardware, and I knew the power supplies, and I knew the disk drives and the computer motherboards for this particular brand. What I didn't know was the theory behind it. So I said, let's go to school and learn the theory. Well, that lasted 3 months. I learned enough about serial and parallel circuits and 3-phase and single-phase voltage. And that's all I learned. Maybe that's enough, and grounding, of course. And that maybe that's enough to get the job done. I don't know. Rage would know more. You were too interested in girls. Ha! Yeah, I quit. I quit after a semester. I couldn't be stuffed doing it, so. That's Geo training in the garage next door. You can hear me smashing the ball against the brick wall. He's doing some agility work. What have I done there? My glasses are getting worse.
My eyes are getting worse. No, that's good. So if you're hearing a thump every now and then, it's not me kneeing the bench or anything like that. It's Gio doing some agility work with ball work in the next room. Just check that, make sure it's not dry. That's good. Yep, that's good. Okay, there's our link between the two, the pass-through as I call it. Tone to volume, there is a direct correlation there. We need to get those linked up, and what adjusts one way adjusts the other as well, so we need to get those talking together. That's our little communication line there. Okay, next step is the switch. I need to get the switch and get that shit happening. Okay. We'll do a ground wire from here to here first. And we need an output jack as well. So let's do the ground wire for this guy. The volume self-grounds to itself. Everything pretty much needs a ground point. It's only a short guy. About an inch. Maui Lin, hello, aloha to you. Thank you very much for the 500 bits. You are awesome. How are you, Lin? I hope you're doing well. And thank you for the resub. 23 months. My God, nearly 2 years. That its time has flown, has it not? Okay. Just clean some of that cloth off there. And also, we're just giving that a little bit of a bath, a little bit of a wash, prime it with some solder, as we call it here. Solder sounds like a scene out of Coming to America. Soul glow. Okay, we're going to stick that guy in there like that. All is good as it can be right now in our crazy. Well, hold on there. Nor is it yeah, it's salmon, silent L, but it's solder. And it's cork without the L, like C-O-R-K, pronounced that way. Cork. Cork. But the solder, the L is important. If you don't like it, Rage, I'm really not concerned, because you don't like 12K either. So that says more about you than it does about me. Let me just say that. If you want to go down that path and we start talking smack, I'll just get Hank to dial into the stream, and then you can have it out with him as well, if you're not careful. Ha! Love your work, mate. Oh, Rage, have a look. I tried a different grit. Look, it's shiny now. Got rid of that milkiness. Gio's well, man. He's back home. He had a good time in Colorado. He had a full pre-season there. There were no international spots, unfortunately. So his visa, he couldn't get signed. But he's getting ready he's just training for the next 6 months and playing here. Probably head off to the UK, hopefully. Hopefully heads off to the UK to play in the lower leagues there, which are scouted and they do pay. There you go. Ha! It's magnificent. Thank you very much for the tip. That's a lot better than it was. You can see it's cleared right up there. Hang on, let me get some lights on there. It's a lot clearer. There you go. Really clear. Compared to yesterday, it was all milky, and that's nice and clean now. So we're happy with that. Just going to add a little bit more here. There we go. That's grounded. Now we need to get our switches and our doobie whackers, as we call them. It's a nice little gold guy. And I need a silver one. This guy will do. And I need, what else do I need? I need that, and I need a switch. One of those. Terry, I need more silver switches. And I also need more black switches. Cosmo. Yes. On it. I built a buffer for real cheap. That's pretty good. Are you using just an old motor with a rubber belt, or a like a fan belt, or are you using a chain, or what? How's it set up, Ranger? Are you just running it off a DC motor? What's going there? Thank you, Terry. It's solder. It is so not solder. Okay, let's get a ground wire on here. We allow a little bit of length because we want to not squash everything together and have tight wires. We want them loose and then we'll trim them up later. Let's just get this guy. So that guy sits somewhat like that. So we need a length of about 3 inches or so, 2.5 inches or so is long enough. Let's get that guy done. About 3 inches or so. A little bit of overkill, but that's okay. Better to be a little bit, have a bit of slack than be too tight and pulling away from that joint. Where are my nippers gone? Here they are. My strippers, I should say. Bring in the strippers. Da 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 do do da 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 bum boom boom bum boom boom. What am I talking about, Terry? God. Let's get that ground on there. Ghetto in the house, Ghetto Logic. How you doing, Ghetto? What's going on? You're the cook. Excellent. He's the most important person in the club. I think last time we spoke to Gatto, he went to, no, who was that? That was Wim. Wonderful. Cool. Now we need to split these two. Okay. One's the neck, one's the bridge, and the middle one is both. So we're going to join the middle one. So when it's in the middle position, you've actually got a short across both pickups, so they're both active. And that's the one we're going to run that wire, a white wire now, down to the volume. Same wire as this guy here. We're going to share the same socket, pin number 3. So let's cut this guy to say be, I don't know, 4 inches or so, maybe 5. 4 should be enough. Okay, first things first is we've got to run this one end through both eyes in that middle there. Lock that over, solder that in place and short those out. Okay, that's cool. Done. Done, done, done. Dun, dun, dun. And the only difference is the little wires off the pickups go on there. We'll do them when we get the pickups back in. Let's quickly join this guy to this guy. Yes, indeed, it goes to the same pin. So that one does go in here. So it means I've just got to melt this guy down. And push this guy through the same hole. Hello, what's going on? Add some more solder in there. Okay, they're good. Okay, we're done. So that's connected. There, that switch sits in there like so. So the wiring is a good length. We don't have not too many tight things. Let's get this ground in here. There we are, all grounded up. Nicely done. And now we have the output jack, and this is the last component to put in here, minus the pickups. We've got 2 terminals here. We've obviously got the hot tip where the actual cable connects to. That hot tip goes in between these 2 leather washers. There is a live tip there, and that's the ground on the inside. So that one there is the ground wire. Let's do that one first. We'll need something that's about 6 or 8 inches long. because that sits down here somewhere. We want it to be long enough to reach. Yep, that's good. That goes on the inside. Ground, control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Let's make that a little bit longer, strip a little bit more. I like to wrap the cable around itself, give a little twist, bend it back over the eyelet so that it just gets a nice little grip there, and then we can trim the rest off as we need to. Done. I need to trim this. Little wire hanging out. And now an active, a live, about the same length. Into the active section, or eyelet, right there. Wunderbar. Done. Okay, let's hook this guy up. So we need a ground wire. And an active. The active, of course, will go down into here, into the middle one, like so. On the volume. This is very fiddly. Rage. This would frustrate Rage. Oh, for the love of God, get up there. Here we go. That's done. Trim that. Ground, I can strip the ground. Has that got a kink in it? No, that's all right. Stick that guy in there with these guys, and we should be fine. There we go. All done. Wired. We're finished with the harness with the exception of the ground wire from the bridge. That needs to go in here. And obviously the ground wire from the bridge and also the pickups, which we're waiting on. Let's unplug this guy. We'll do a... is that dry yet? Let's have a look at this body here. Okay, that's almost dry. I won't do that now. Leave that one there. Let's take this away. Pop this in the box with the other things for the Telecaster. And we're going to get a nut out for the telly now. Terry, are you ready for a nut? Are you ready for cutting a new nut on the telly? Just like yesterday, time for the baby vice to come back into play. Do we like the baby vice? Yes, we do. What do we like about it? Everything. What do we got? We got a raid. Steve forward. Steve, what's going on? Thank you for the raid, guys. Is it a raid? Yes, it is. Steve, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. How you doing, Steve? Everybody follow Steve forward. How you going? How was your stream, mate? Are you well? Lou Vella. Hey, Lou, what's going on? Jazz Simply Me. Hello. Okay, we're going to show you what we're working on. First, we've got a telly with a P90 in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge. And it's called the Fox. And there is the Fox. Okay. Why? Because it's got a fox face down here. That is camphor laurel. The body is poplar. It has a beautiful sapwood through the middle. And the neck is coachwood and burdock and plum fretboard. So there is that neck for that. Looks something like this. A little bit of continuity with the colours through there. Okay. That's that girl there. The other little guy we've got is, hey, Leslie, what's going on? Leslie's in the house. Is a Les Paul, an L6, which is my variation on that. Unlike the Les Paul with the 4 controls, the L6 only has 2. In other words, a 3-way switch, a tone and a volume. So 1 tone, 1 volume as opposed to 2. I'll grab that for you, show you guys that. Before we continue with a new nut for that neck there. What's going on, you guys? Good to see you. Nomad in the house. Okay, here she is. We've just got a coat of poly on the back. That's mahogany. Okay, so that girl's mahogany there. We're just drying off that mahogany and getting that level on the back there. We got maple binding. We've got a maple cap in a honey burst. That's it there. We've got an Australian rosewood neck, Aussie rosewood neck. That's that neck there with a true oil on it, a Danish oil actually. And we've got a river oak fretboard, which is similar to ebony, feels more like rosewood, but looks more like ebony. And the big blocks in there as well. So hopefully you like that. That's what we're working on at the moment. There is an acoustic we're working on as well, but I've got that in the other room. I won't grab that because it's hanging up. But that's coming along. Just waiting for pickups now. And 2 humbuckers in here. Mr. Glynn's Integrity 59 copies, or his formula. Lilies, what's going on, Lilies? Thank you very much. Good to see you as well. So yeah, we're working on these guys at the moment. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate the raid. Okay, and now what we're doing is we're going to get to building a new nut for that neck bench. So, here is our neck. There it is there. It's a little bit on the tacky side, but that's okay. It's only oil. We've got to give it another coat or so. It's looking good, that neck's starting to come out good. So what we've got is we've got a channel in here, and we need to cut a neck for it. The only problem I see is this channel's a little bit wonky, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that up. Okay, I'm going to get the neck sorted out first. So I need to get this slot cut out. So without making too much of a mess, let's grab our little holders. Our little holders, like so. What we need to do is, I need to fix this guy up here. It's a little bit on the crooked side. Just going to double check some measurements there. For some reason it slipped away. It could be the angle of the scoop that's doing that. Let me just double check the measurements. Yeah, it's definitely slipped away. Okay, so we're going to fix that up. We're going to go, I'll get my template. .25.5" scale, a Fender scale. That guy here, there's the 0 fret. That's correct. That is not correct. So it's only a millimeter out. What we're going to do is we're going to draw and recut that line, and then we're going to chisel that out and fit a nut in there anyway. So you're not going to see anything untowards or mistaken or wrong. But luckily I checked it when I did. Isn't that right, Terry? Okay. I can go from that corner straight down. It's very minimal. Very minimal. But it's enough to make a difference. More so not to the chords, but just looks shit. I want it to look good. I want it to look straight. That's better. Let me cut that line, readjust that line. A little bit of an adjustment right to there. That's where I want to cut it. That's the new slot. Like I said, it's barely noticeable. And that's fixed it up. That's nice and straight now. So we get that guy there. That's done. So that's going to work now. Okay. And this guy's got to be the same. Measure that. Okay, that's not too bad. There we go, sorted. Cut that down to depth. A bit deeper on this end. Okay, chisel. Grab a chisel. Where are those chisels, Terry? This is fascinating. Steve, this is how we do it, my mate. This is how you get your action on that little guy of yours. All your guitars. The nut is one of the most important things for intonation and for tuning and for action and for everything. So basically just give that a little twirl. Twist. Put a sharp chisel in there, give it a little twist. Like so. And then we should have everything popping out. There we go. There's our nut slot. Done. We've got to file that clean. Put that away. Grab our little file. Make sure that's clean. Check for bumps and lumps. We need a nice flat bed in there so that nut sits in there, that bone nut sits in there, nice and clean. It's looking all right. Okay. And now we grab that bone nut and shape that up and measure it up and fit it in there, mark it out, get the height, where the slots go, etc., etc. Yes, it's calculus, Leslie. It does my head in. Bring the big box up. The big magic box of goodness. And here we have a couple of bone nuts. I use bone. I don't use plastic or tusk or metal or brass or anything like that. I like bone. It's my go-to. Not good to breathe. It's okay. We wear a mask when we grind it and shape it and what have you. We'll need these files. Pop this away. Okay, so the objective here is to fit this guy in there. This is a little bit thicker. I've got to grind some of this in there. Let me just get a measurement of that slot. .3, so 3.6 millimeters, just over 1/8 of an inch. Just over 1/8 of an inch. I think. Let me double check that. Zero, zero. Come on, zero. Oh, it's in inches. Hang on a sec. Where are the units? Millimeters, okay. It's millimeters. Four millimeters, perfect. That's the thickness that I like to do them. 4.5 on that side. I'm going to file that side a little bit. Okay, so 4.5. This one is about 5, I think, or 6. Let's have a look. It's 5.9. Okay, so we need to shave that ever so slightly. We're going to take about 1 millimeter off it. It's literally by eye, it's literally that much. And then I'm going to hand sand it. So I'm going to go to the grinder and just grind 1 millimeter off that And then we're going to polish that down and grind that down to fit in there. Once it's in there, we can measure where we want the strings, the spacing. Okay, so let's do that quickly. Mask, Terry, do I need a mask?
What's the deal here? Safety. Have we got our safety emote, Terry? What's going on? Let me put a mask on because bone dust is not good for the lungs, as they say. That's the one, Leslie. Thank you. It'll take about a minute for me to do this, not too long. So bear with me. I won't be too long. I'll just pop down there. Okay. Almost. Almost, which is where we want to be. And now we can hand sand that very finely to get a nice, tight, even fit. A little bit of 100. We're almost there. Okay, we're nearly there. Just shaving very small parts off that thickness now, just thinning it down ever so slightly, just enough to get that squeezed in there. Okay, this side's pretty good. It's almost there. You can see it's starting to stick in there, but it's still a little bit on the fat side. The chisel is never too far away. Just going to clean those corners, make sure there's no little fibers or anything stopping that. Where are my glasses? Can't see anything because I'm an old man. Just making sure there's no fibers on the bottom there. Just razoring the, chippers have chipped that, that's okay. I'm going to glue that back on. It's okay, we'll glue that back on. Okay, so let's get that into there. So close. Let me glue that part back in before I lose it.
There's always a risk of a slight chip on those edge of those fretboards, but we'll just glue that piece back in and you won't see it again. Where's that glue gone? Let me find some glue and get that glued on. Here we are. Okay, that's back in. Looks pretty good. The problem with that is there was a little that's why. There was a little bump there and it caught it and ripped that out, but that's okay. It's back in now. It's going to file that flat. Like so. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, that's good. This side's not too bad. Getting there. I don't want to be too loose and sloppy, so I'm taking my time and getting that right. Okay, it's looking good. Making sure I'm not cutting any unevenness, anything unevenly. Block of wood there just to hold that straight so I don't get wobble. We're close, really close. Okay, we're really close. Okay. Very close now. Very close. Ooh, so close. Almost jam it in there. nearly there. Not long to go. Let's grab that chisel again. What did I do with that chisel? What did I do with the chisel? What did I do with the chisel? Here it is. Right in front of my eyes. Give that a light shave. Watch those ends. We're nearly there. Wow, we're close, really close. Beautiful. Gotcha. Okay, it's in. Nut is in. It's installed. What we need to do is just shave that middle section a little bit. A bit of a bump in there. Okay, a few little bumps here. Right, there's the neck, there's the nut, it's done. I'm going to measure that guy out. There's a little bit of wood still there. I keep finding little things. All right, I see what's wrong. A little bit of shallowness here on this edge here. That's better. Okay, that should go in now. There we go. All right, that's good. Let's mark that out. So we've got some overhang. What we need to do is mark out the edges first. They're the edges. I need to mark the first. Need to get the body down here. And we've got to mark the first and last strings. So let's grab that body. Nut and fretwork scare me. I do truss rod adjustments and basic intonation, soldering, etc. Yeah, it's look, they're scary, man. You've got to be very, very gentle and very caring and careful. But what I'm going to do now is set the neck straight, just with a clamp, just so I can line up the string lines right through to the bridge position to give me a decent spacing for the E, outside E, so the bass E and the treble E string. So I'm going to whack the neck in here. I'm going to clamp that temporarily. Now I know why I needed that clamp, Terry. What did I do with it? I put it away. Just going to hold that in place. I'm going to check the straightness of that neck, make sure it is dead straight. There's a little bit of play in there, but that's by design. Let's grab the straight edge. We line that up down the middle where that seam is on that book match top. We come straight through here. Now I need a reference point at this end of the neck. Up here. I just dropped my rule. That's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of tape there, mask that out, measure a little line where the center is on the neck there. Be very accurate. I like to do things to the millimeter, not just take a rough estimate. I want to get it right. So we're going to measure across here. .44, 22 is center. Okay, that's my middle line there. Dead center, so I'm going to line that straight edge right down the middle. Make sure this neck is on straight. There it is. It's dead straight, so that's good. We don't have to tweak that. Okay, now that we know that, we grab the bridge. And it's just a hard tail on this guy. I'll put this Cosmo one down here. We know where it's going, right there. Okay, and now what I can do is screw that down temporarily, just in the corner so it doesn't slide off, and we can calculate the string alignment for the first and second slot, first and last slots on the nut. Then we can space using the space ruler, the slotting rule, to get the other spacings and the other positions of those strings. So let me just quickly just hand tighten that in there just to keep it pinned in place. We'll go diagonals, it won't move much then. It'll allow us the latitude to work with that. Get in there. Okay, so that bridge isn't moving. That's dead straight. Double check that again. %. Okay, good. Now we basically go to this E up here, run the rule there, run that straight down. Now that clamps in the way. I might do the small E first, the treble side. So on that saddle, run it down to where it's parallel to the neck, and give me a okay. So that's where we're going with that. That's good. The pickups are going to be in line. That's fine. So we're looking at, and it should be about 3.5 millimeters in from the edge of the fretboard at the nut. So I'll grab my little rule, double check that. About there. That is a bit too far. Let's bring that back a little bit. That's where I want it. I mark that with a pencil. Where's my pencil? That's a good question. Let's have a look at that. It's really close. I might go a little bit further. Okay. First string. Last one. So bass side. Let's move this clamp to the other side. Double check that neck hasn't moved with that clamp moving. No, we're spot on. Bass side E on the saddle. Give it about 4.5 millimeters, 4 millimeters this time, a little bit more because it is a bass string. That looks really good there. Right there. Okay, we've got first and last now. So we take these out. We've got bass side here, got treble side here. We no longer need this guy for the time being. We'll just pop him up here, hang him up. The body can go as well. What did I do with that wire? Too many things on the bench, Terry. I'm getting lost. Let's hang this guy up. Alrighty, so we've got this guy thicknessed out. It fits in the slot. We've marked E to E. Now we need to mark the other 4 strings in between. So we use what we call, is this Danish shawl? Yes, it's Danish shawl, mate. What we need to do is make sure we space these strings out nicely now. And we use this fret slotting rule. Now this ruler here has all these marks. There's a bass side and there's a treble side on each end. We're going to go, this is, okay, we're going to use this end like that. So there's our treble, there's our bass side. So our bass side. We line up the first string to one of those slots and ensure the last string line lines up with another slot, and there should be 4 strings in between, evenly spaced. Okay, that's not quite right. It needs to come in closer. So we need to slide that along a little bit. Is it this way? It's not right. That's not right. That's right, that one there. So what I do now is I mark out the remaining slots. So I go, that's E, there's A, D, whoops, that's not right. Sorry, my mistake. There we go. E, A, that's halfway. D, E, A, D, G, B, E. So we've got E to E. We're ready to go. We can slot those now. Terry, are you ready for our to do the honours? Now, what I haven't done is measured the distance down, but it doesn't. So I'm going to do that now. So we'll grab that neck again. We'll pop this down. How do we know how far down to get to the frets? How do we know how far to slot it? Well, we use a flat pencil. So let's pop that guy back in. We know where it's going lined up because we've got those 2 reference points where the edges are. Okay, there's our neck. That's down. Good. What we need to do is we need to grab this flat pencil that I have right here. What did I do with it? Let's see what I did with it, Terry. I used it yesterday, didn't I? Yes, indeed I did. It'll be here somewhere. Hasn't gone too far, I know that. Here it is. So as you can see here, I've got a pencil, a builder's pencil, which is pretty flat anyway, but I've halved it. I've ground it down so that we've got this very fine point. All you see is a point, a flat bed going to a point. And we lay that down onto the frets. And we basically, that point is just above the fret height. And we rule a line across here. And there's the 12-inch radius, okay? And we slot all the way down to there. We slot all the way down to there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I've got these slot markings. I'm going to mark them down to there because I'm going to grind this guy right down because it's too high. So I'm going to allow about 1 millimeter of play. About 1 millimeter of play. I'm going to grind that down. First things first, I'm going to move these markings down. So this one corresponds to here. This one corresponds to here. And that's where the slots go. Okay, we've marked out the slots. Now, let's get that shape going. And let's get this guy slotted. So I'll just quickly put my mask back on, grind that down, because I don't want to cut through too much bone it's just too tedious. So I'm going to take a millimetre or two off. The tips to apply, Mr. Blackstone, I just put it on very, very evenly. I always use oil for a satin finish, a semi-gloss, not a high gloss. I wouldn't recommend a high gloss in oil. It takes too many coats and a lot of inconsistencies and rework and working. So get it flat. So what I do is I give it 2 sealer coats. When it's dry and unsealed, I seal with the Danish oil as well. So I pour a nice big dollop of that. It drinks it up. Pour another one in, drinks that up. Then I give it a light sand with 600 grit on an orbital, very lightly, dry sand it. And then I give it another coat and another coat. 4 coats later, I'll do another sand, and then it should be pretty glassy. And then you can apply another 2 coats, let it cure for a few days, give it a hand buff, burnish it, and it should come up nice. Happy to chat with you if you want to do it offline as well. Let me grind this guy. Okay, what we've done is we've just radiused that bone nut now, so it looks like a nut with a 12-inch matching radius parallel to the lines, and now we're ready to start cutting. Okay, Terry, do the honors. What are we doing? Now I can transfer these lines back up to the top so I can see where I'm cutting. So we've got, what have we got? Okay, we've got base side here, okay? So base side here. Okay, let's go, Terry. What's first? Put it on this little baby vise. Let's move that camera for you guys so you can see. I'll just move that camera. There it is. What do we got first, Terry? The lotto number's 10. King Louis, thank you. King Louis VII, thank you for the follow. Awesome. Good to have you here. Let's throw out those. These are called music nomads, and they're very good files for nut slotting files. They're diamond tipped, industrial diamonds, not blood diamonds from South Africa or anywhere like that. But so we use 10 for the low E string. We start at the treble side, and off we go. Basically Start by scoring along that corner where that line is marked till we get a bite. Then we literally just file through to the depth that we've marked out. Slightly angled down towards, so there's a breakaway towards the tuners. Okay, and we mark and we watch how far down we go. Okay, we're done. That's that. 10's done. Next, 13 for the B string. B string, done. Okay, next, the G string, which is 17, I believe. Terry, give me that number. Get your lotto numbers in, folks. Right, next, the D string. 24. Glow stick Willie on. What is up, guys? What is happening? Welcome to the show. JMO and the crew from Glowstick TV are raiding. Good to see you guys. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. We're just working on a nut for this telly that's hanging up here. Have a look at this guy. The Fox. And there's that fox face down the bottom there. The Fox. Okay, so this guy is getting a P90 in the neck, a humbucker in the bridge, poplar, body. We've got, there we are, Terry's got the list there. Camphor laurel neck, camphor laurel body, coachwood neck, plum fretboard. Just working on the nut for that. What is going on? The Raiders are in the house. Cool. Okay. And we've got a Les Paul working on too. If JMO was on here, I'd show him the Les Paul, but he's probably not. That's okay. Let's go to... so we're up to where? D, Terry? Are we up to D, 24? 24 is the one? Okay, cool. Let's do that. Thank you, Raiders. Appreciate you being here. Welcome on in. Hang around. We're almost there. Okay. D string. D string. Okay, we're there. Next, the A string. Soundbites, thank you for the follow. Bloonshadabs, what's going on? What a great idea for a string. Hey, we've been doing this for a while. If you were watching JMO, and if you're watching Glow Stick Willie, that Purple Heart Les Paul that he's playing, the hollow body, I built that for him, and I gave that to those guys. So check him out if you check out Glow Stick TV. They're on kick.com. They're also on Twitch. They're also on X, and they're also on YouTube. So subscribe to all of those channels and all those outlets for them. Check out the Purple Heart guitar called Uma. She was built by me, and that was a prototype. It was completely hollow, Les Paul style. So check them out. Soundbites, awesome, man. Well, welcome on in. My name's Manny. I'm based in Sydney, Australia. I build custom guitars. I'll grab the Les Paul and show you that. This one's a little different to JMO's. It's not completely hollow. JMO's is hollow all the way around, and it's got an island bridge moat. It's called a moat carve, or a moat chamber. This one's got a chamber on either side with the piece that goes through the middle. This is mahogany, and it's got maple binding, and it's got a honeyburst maple cap. And it's got an Australian rosewood neck, and it's got a Australian river oak fretboard, and that's a nice one. It's a little bit different to the L. This is our L6 model. You can see there's only one volume and one tone, and a three-way switch, not 2 and 2. But that's the kind of stuff we make. Okay, back to this guy. So we're just building a Australian wood. Yeah, Australian rosewood, yeah. It's called Ambroina. It's a red rosewood, also known as Australian rosewood. It's interesting. It's a beautiful wood. Let's get back to the bench. Let's keep slotting this. What are we up to, Terry? What number do I get to? We haven't done A, so we're up to 32. Thank you very much. Indy Hayes, thank you for the follow. Daily Lynch as well, thank you for the follow. Sam Bites, welcome in. Balloons dabs as well. Welcome on in, guys and girls, to the family. Okay. A string. Let's go, Terry. Let's do this. How do we do this, Terry? This is how we do it. We've marked how deep to cut. We put it in the little baby guy vise. And now we're doing the A string. That's where I want it. That's good, that's done. Next and last. What do we got, Terry? Nightshade for the follow as well. Thank you very much. Welcome on in. 42, and that's lotto. If you haven't won the lotto with those numbers, as we say, you never will win it. They're the magic numbers. Okay, I think we're good. Alrighty then. There it is, all slotted out. It goes in there like that. Like those strings in there, and we're good to go. So what we need to do now is we need to polish that guy up. So I'll move this neck away. I'll move that camera. Let's get that cam back up here. Cam, back up here. Down she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Okay, hang this guy up. So this guy here's the Fox. For those of you who didn't see the Fox, P90 in the neck, humbucker in the bridge. It's got, and we call it the Fox because there's the fox face in there. And that's camphor laurel. That is poplar with a beautiful sapwood through there. So that's coming along nicely, as we say. $800 million. Does anyone actually win that, Dana? Sometimes I question the motives. Sometimes I say to myself, hey, I don't know anyone that's won it. I haven't seen anyone that's won it. I just hear claims that people have won it by the very people that established the contest in the first place. Hold that thought, Terry, because that's a thought we have to discuss during a rant stream. Let me tell you. Let's get back to the bench and let's finish polishing this little guy up. Bench. There we go. So we're going to polish this little guy up. The way we do that is we use some paper, get this cleaned up. I'll get some 250, 240 stuff here. Just going to give that a light scrub. Get those lines off it. There we go. That's clean. Just round those corners over a little bit, just ever so slightly. Take the edge off it. Like that. We've got to trim this guy up. I'm not going to do that yet. That's cool. That's all good. Okay, that's cool and good to go. Now we get the 400. 400. This guy here. The 400, then we get the 600 and the 1200. The 600. I'm going to put that on the sander for more work tomorrow on the bodies. Looking good. Even Terry would love this. Even Terry would love this. Okay, 1200. And then Terry can start calling out the micromesh. Maruho, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. There's a couple of us out here. Check out Hank Budd. Check out Orbiter Guitars. Check out me. There's a few of us in here. Be Bumstead. Yeah, let's get some shout outs. Dana and Terry, let's get some shout outs. Yeah, there's the Discord. You'll see all our luthiers that are on Twitch are on that Discord. We're just shaping this bone nut here, polishing that guy up. 1200. Okay, Terry, we're done with the 1200. Where are we up to? What's first, Terry? Let me know. What's first? Let's get the micro mesh out. Let's get this guy polishing up. Let's get this guy looking good. Let's get this guy looking good. What do we got first, Terry? 1500 rust. This is the rust. 1500 rust. Okay, next. $1,800 green. That's that one there. Next. 2400 charcoal. Grey, boring old grey. Next, 3200 baby poo tan. There's the tan. It's baby poo coloured. It's not pretty, let me tell you. It's not pretty at all. Next, $3,600 red wine. That's the one. Starting to shine now, Terry. Starting to shine now. Okay, next. 4,000 teal. Manny, I've snoozed out the ad breaks as long as I could to give Raiders a good long view without, but it's coming. Yeah, that's okay. Thanks, Dana. Appreciate it. Keep snoozing them if you want. Don't worry about the ads if you don't. If you want to snooze them, just snooze them. But if you don't, that's fine. Just let them run. It's a good half hour probably, or 40 minutes before. Yes, that's right, Leslie. That's always the better one to wear. I'd rather look like a chimney sweep than a baby with a full nappy. Oh, okay, that's cool. Insistent. Now, where have I heard that before? Next. Is it Dana's colour next? 6,000 purple. Here she is. Dana with a purple 6,000. Next, my favourite colour, everyone's favourite colour. Blue, 8,000 grit. It's like rubbing it with satin now. It's like polishing it with cloth. There's no real scratches left, but it does make a difference. You'd be surprised. Like, that's really starting to shine out. And last but not least is da-da-da-da-da. Get it out, get it out, get it out. And I like to use a little bit of polish on this one. Too much. Let me wipe that clean and let's have a look at that guy. And clean that properly. Dry that off. We've got a shiny little nut there, all cut and ready to go. So that's done. We can pop that. We can write telly on that one. I'll clean that off. Telly. Put that in here with the telly parts. There is a box of telly parts. Terry won't tell you. There we go. And that, my friends, is that. I'm going to see who I can raid. I'm going to raid someone because I've had a couple of good raids today, so let me return the favour. Thank you very much for being here. Now let's find my phone, wherever that is. Here it is. I'm going to see who's on. Beep, 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 beep. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. Who have we got? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, where are you, Twitch? Here we go. Who have we got? We've got Matt Suarez, we've got Archeros, we've got Rhinus. Let's go to Matty. Haven't done Matt Suarez for a while. So let's do him. He's a good musician. He's playing some great music right now. Let's do that. See if that works. Okay, that's working. Guys and girls, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you for the raids, everybody. Glowstick and Steve and everyone else. And I'll see you after Easter. I'm not going to stream for the rest of the week and take Easter weekend off. And I'll see you on Monday next week, which is your Sunday if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Until then, guys and girls, take it easy. Have a great Easter. I'll see you shortly. Bye for now.